through this coaching process, where did you start with the real estate? How did you pick that up? And how did you get to where you are now?
Yeah. So by the time I started coaching, I'd already explored single family investing, started looking at investing in limited partnerships, even started doing flips through a partnership. But the greatest value came from interacting with others at conferences. And I think for anyone who's listening who just doesn't know where to go, it doesn't happen in an instant. At least it didn't for me. It felt like I was wandering. And it's okay to wander a little bit because you have to have a greater sense of where you want to go and you have to see what's there. And you need that time to gain the clarity. And so through conferences and chatting with others, podcasting, I did the bigger pocket stuff, reading, making myself my best self. I naturally gravitated towards commercial real estate and to multifamily. And it turns out health and housing aren't so different, right? You're helping people on both sides, right? These are both fundamental needs. And so the opportunity to provide someone with a nice place to live, somewhere they're proud to call home, but at the same time also help folks like myself. There are incredibly large numbers of physicians, lawyers, dentists who are not financially savvy, who feel chained by the proverbial golden handcuffs, who are too scared to do something different, who are told they have to have this monogamous relationship with whatever it is that they're doing at that time. So the opportunity still exists in the real estate world to be helpful to others. And I enjoy both because of that.
Indeed. So tell us about, so these busy physicians that you're helping, where, a lot of them, I imagine, either, maybe some of them haven't had that wake up call. Maybe some of them have just had that wake up call and they're like, okay, what do I do next? And some, have been investing for a while, but you talked about using real estate to buy back time. Tell us how you're helping physicians to do that.
Yeah. So, the real estate side of it provides cash flow that comes at an incredible tax benefit. And most physicians I know are in a very high tax bracket. And so, we're caught in this cogwheel of trading time for money. And so, what we do is try to create small streams of additional income, tax-free income through real estate that incredibly builds larger rivers. And that cash flow can sometimes be used to replace part of one's income, which translates into working less hours and using your time to do what you want to do. And so many physicians have done that. In fact, before I even realized that, I realized that there were two kinds of physicians in the hospital. There were some who left at 5 o'clock and they were always happy no matter what. And I thought, geez, what's making these people so happy? I've got to figure out what's going on there and how I can get there. And then I realized this is exactly what some of them do. And they put boundaries around their lives after that. And gaining additional income outside of your W-2 job does wonderful things. One, it allows you to appreciate your W-2 job more. In fact, I appreciate medicine so much more that I don't need it. And two, it's given me the power to say no. And that is very powerful. I've been asked to do different things in my job. I can remember being asked to open the office on a Saturday and see patients on a Saturday, or change work hours and show up at 7 a.m. or work till 6 or 7 p.m. at night, or, whatever it may be. But having the additional income outside of money gives us leverage to say, no, thank you. That does not work for me and my family. And I found that prior to having that additional income, and for many other physicians, if you only have that one source of income, if you're not fiscally stable, you don't really have the power to say no. And I think that's one of the greatest benefits I've experienced is the ability to protect my time and my family's time, because I've learned if I kept saying yes, I'm saying yes to somebody, but on the flip side, I'm saying no to the folks who matter most to me.
How do you manage the weight of that? Maybe actually, how do you manage that? And then mentally, how do you handle that? Because I think those are two different things. So how do you manage all that?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And there are days when I manage it better than other days. There are days that definitely feel messy. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I need like 3 personal assistants today. But I'm very intentional about my time. And, at 4:45 a.m. in the morning, you catch me, I'm awake. And I feed my soul. I exercise. I eat well. I think I mentioned I'm an integrative cardiologist. I follow a plant-based diet, and being disciplined with my diet allows me to be disciplined with life. It somehow spills over, kind of like osmosis. But that morning time gives me a better sense of clarity and helps me to get so much more done early when the kids are asleep, when my husband's asleep. So nobody recognizes that mom is working. And the days when I don't do that are definitely rougher days. So I really try to be intentional about that. And I'm also intentional about my time throughout the day. I say no a lot. Can you overbook this patient? I'm sorry, I can't do that. Can you give this talk? I can give it, but on this date at this time. I'm very intentional about protecting my family time. I've been asked to give talks on a weekend, and I'm like, I'm sorry, that's my family time. So I protect my family time and make sure that I follow a strict timeline so that my time doesn't bleed over. I also outsource the things that I don't need to do. Believe me, I can cook and clean, but I don't have to do that. I'd rather spend my time with my kids. And so things that I don't have to do, I have a personal assistant who does that for me. And so whether it's ordering a cake for my kid's birthday or cleaning the house, I try to outsource as much of that as possible to use my time to focus on high value items or to spend the time with the kids. And, again, there are definitely days that I feel like I've just been running and I need to stop. But nurturing oneself is really key, whether it's a massage, a workout, music, that definitely helps. And just really learning to say no and sticking to the plan.